that environment feels hostile, I initially found it quite hard to adapt to that. When I read a script, I know if it's a good script or not a good script. But there's a very big difference in the way men and women are also treated. You can't fool an audience anymore and you can't take them for granted. I just want the same respect given. First is get to know your body, understand your body, and figure out what works for you. Now is my time. Now I'm flying.
For all film related interviews, reviews, and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
Lovely meeting you. Hectic times, 2 back-to-back releases.
Yes, the best times also. I shot these films also at the same time, so that was actually hectic. Releasing them at the same time is fun.
And imagine diametrically opposite characters. So let's
Yeah.
talk about Srikanth because your character it's inspired by a real life story.
Yes,
And
based on a real life story, yeah.
yeah, so what was it like getting the beats of your character, right? Because there's a lot of things that you as an actor might perceive because her reality is very different from yours. So
Yeah.
what was that like getting into the zone?
So, as far as Srikanth goes, Srikanth is like copy paste. Like Raj has done, he's completely embodied Srikanth in every way, shape, and form. Anyone that came on set was just in awe of him. And I had also had the pleasure of meeting Srikanth. So I could see just how well Raj was playing Srikanth. As for Swati, who's my character, Srikanth's wife, on a script level, there are some creative liberties that have been taken. So my character isn't as copy paste. So for me, it wasn't, I guess, as complicated. It was more like, you've sort of got a fresh script and how are you approaching this character? So, uh, yeah, so it was really good fun, and everything I needed was primarily in the script. And I had met Swati also, who was absolutely lovely. And yeah, it's been a very, very great journey being able to play her.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it because I actually get that vibe from you. I just feel you as of now, your potential has not been tapped in.
Not at
So
all. Yeah.
this is what I'm coming to since this movie is also about perceptions.
Yeah.
So what is the perception you feel that people have about you, which is not what you think it is?
So I'll go on an acting zone. I think people usually come to me with really urban characters because I am an urban girl and I come across as an urban girl, especially when I talk. But I am actually also really pretty good at playing characters that are not urban. I just need someone to say, okay, we believe you, come do it. I remember, because especially when I was training, I knew that my urban characters came really naturally to me because I've sort of lived in that life. So actually, my primary focus while I was training was on characters that were not urban. Uh, so most of my training, most of my work I've done in that zone, and now I just need someone to be able to also let me do that on screen. I need people to come to me with characters that are not urban and are not, what you just look at me and assume that I can do. So I think that's what I'm really looking forward to, because I know that once someone sees me do it in that zone, then after that I'm good. Then after that, everyone will believe it and everyone will come with those roles. But I need that one correct role for people to see that.
So fingers crossed for that. I think it also comes with the way you look, the way you talk, your entire vibe, because you come across as this very confident girl, which we saw in Freddie. You tried to break that, out of that mold. But I think somewhere your confidence, she's ube cool. I think that also sometimes it's the filmmaker. They need to perceive you as an actor,
Correct.
but I think they perceive you as the person that you are.
100%. And like there are things where I'm told, go and meet this person and wear a kurta and go and meet this person, or get spotted in more traditional clothes. And my thing is, I don't want it to seem forced. Just because I can play it on screen doesn't mean I have to be that in real life also. That we're actors. The reason we are actors is because we can perhaps do both. We don't have to be exactly like the characters we wish to play. That's the whole beauty of acting. And so sometimes all of those things feel really forced to me, which is why I'm more like, uh, let's see, I'm pursuing a lot of projects actually that might put me in that zone. So let's see, fingers crossed.
And also, I just see because social media, everyone gauges you by social media. Your social media, like unlike your contemporaries, I'm not taking names, you're not there in your face trying different looks. आज जिम में ये किया, आज मैं ये खा रही हूँ, आज मैं ऐसे लग रही हूँ. It's just like any normal person. So you think that also is a factor in these perceptions, because many of your contemporaries are out there in your face. One knows exactly what they look like, eat everything, which is not in your case.
Um, Maybe. I think my social media for me, just I like to just sort of reflect my life onto it. Social media also became a really effective tool for me during the pandemic, because that was right after my film had released. And since there was a 3-year gap between my first film and my second film, I had to find a way to stay relevant. And social media became my tool to be able to do that, which is why not only do you see my general stuff like my looks and my gym, but I also try and put a lot of my personality onto my social media. And because that's sort of, the formula I'd followed since the pandemic, because that was my only way to be in touch with people. And naturally, the person that I am, I've grown up in an English speaking household. I've never really, spoken to my parents or even grandparents in Hindi. um and in school, very stupidly, I studied French instead of Hindi for no rhyme or reason. There's no use for the
Most of them
French
have.
that, yeah, no use whatsoever of this French that I've studied so deeply. So, you know
Parlez-vous français?
yeah, je parle français. Je parle un petit peu de français. But but it's absolutely useless. So I think the main thing that people usually see when they assume someone for a character is, firstly, of course, the look, and
Right.
secondly is the speech. Naturally, my speech, my English is slightly more refined. It is, because that's just how I've spoken my entire life. And
Absolutely.
now I'm going to try and break that mold. So now, dheere dheere, I'm trying to talk more in Hindi also in my interviews. Even if people are not talking to me in Hindi, I'm trying to throw it in.
चलो,
I'm
मैं
trying
हिंदी
to
में
do
बात
these little things.
चलो, I absolutely get that. English में बात कर लेते. But you also had a theatrical release which did not live up to expectations. Did that somewhere disappoint you? Or were you okay with it? Like it's part of the territory?
You know, honestly, for me, I still feel like I got a lot out of the project. I got to work with Tiger, with Akshay sir, with Ali sir. We shot in wonderful, beautiful parts of the world. I got to do commercial songs. I got to do that whole, zone. I had a good time, and even with the release, even though I suppose it didn't make the kind of money they were hoping it would make for the scale of the film, it still, gave me a completely new audience. A lot of people that perhaps had not seen any of my other work, had seen this and they got to know of me. So it has given me a fresh audience. And yeah, so overall, I think I've still gotten a lot out of the film and out of the experience of even being on the film. I've learned a lot as well. And I got to work with some really lovely people. So for me, no, I don't think it was as much of a disappointment as, it might have been for other people. But yeah.
Absolutely. And also, since you are an actor also in these times, what do you think is the biggest challenge? And also, as a viewer, people want to consume relevant stories. Even if it's an action film, they need a backstory. Why is this person doing what this person is instead of just bam, 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 that we tend to
Yeah.
do?
I feel like a challenge for, a lot of people in the industry now is, right now, scripts and stories are the most important. Audiences have become very, very smart and very, very specific about what they're liking and what they're not liking. And audience opinion is what's deciding whether a film is doing well or not doing well. You can't fool an audience anymore, and you can't take them for granted, which is great. I love the fact that, scripts and stories are actually being given a lot of importance. But the problem is that there aren't those many strong scripts and stories. It's impossible to have so many strong scripts and stories. Now, the thing is, everyone wants to be a part of those strong scripts and stories. So how do you find those strong scripts and stories for yourself? Because everyone is vying for, the really great ones. So every once in a while, you might get lucky and fall into a wonderful script and story, like I luckily managed to do with Shrikant. But I think that's the main thing, is that, even when you read a script, at least for me, when I read a script, I know if it's a good script or not a good script. Um, or but then there are so many other factors attached to it that, make you decide whether you want to do a film or not. So I think that for me is what I feel is the biggest challenge is that there's so much emphasis on story and script, but maybe there aren't those many of them out there, so sometimes when we make a choice that um people are like, well, why would she do this? The script is so weak, or something of that sort. There are multiple other reasons for why you choose to do that.
Absolutely. And you know what I liked when you made your debut? You were extremely candid and upfront about the fact that this, yes, I do come from the Bedi family. And it's
Yes.
not easy, and the doors open, but to maneuver those doors once you're in there has been a tough one for you as well.
Yes, very much. And on top of that, little did I know during those promotions that a little while later, the world was also going to stop because of a worldwide pandemic. So I feel like every time, sort of in my career, when I felt like, oh, now is my time, now I'm flying, something enormous and out of control has happened where I'm like, oh God, okay, I need to figure out everything again. I need to restructure, realign, and find new ways to maneuver this. uh, but I also think that's kind of a good thing because it sort of prepped me for what the industry is like anyway. Because I feel like here you always have to keep reinventing, readjusting, replanning. And I feel like the pandemic sort of gave me that lesson right off the bat. And so I guess I'll thank it for that, because now thanks to that, I know that if I could sort of figure my career out after that phase of life, nothing seems as daunting. So yeah.
Which is the biggest myth of the industry once you stepped in was broken when you stepped in, was just like broken. What you had imagined actually was not what you had perceived to be.
Interesting. So when I shot Jawani Janeman was one of those films that was sort of like a dream film for me, because right from the people that I was cast with, all the way to the shooting process, through the release, through the response I got after that, everything was just perfect. It couldn't have gone any better for me. I had the best time on that film. I was surrounded by the best people, the kindest people. It was probably the best set I've ever been on. And so I thought, because it was the first film I ever did, I was like, oh, all film sets are like this. Everyone is so lovely. Everything always goes so smoothly, and then the pandemic happened. So throughout the pandemic, also, I held on to that belief, right? Because I had no other experience other than that. I remember thinking, this is great. Like, this is it's so smooth and so happy, and going to set every day is such a joy. Being on set is such a joy. Everyone's so lovely. And then you work on other films. I won't name which films, but there are some films that I've worked on where I've had awful experiences on set. Awful. And you're working with people that are sometimes just like they don't care about you, and they don't really have your best interest at heart. You sort of have to fend for yourself and handle situations where you're not being treated nicely and being treated or just in so many different ways. So I think that for me was my biggest shock, because it happened after I was already in the industry for a while. And, I then realizing that that's also a part of the job became really not very nice, because when you work on a set and you work on a film, you really want that to be a really safe, happy, productive environment. So when that environment feels hostile, I initially found it quite hard to adapt to that, because I didn't really see it coming. But now I'm prepped for that also. Now I know how to handle that also.
Granddad and my mom could have given you some leaves from their own like life story. They've experienced it all.
Yeah, they are. I suppose they could have, but also, for them, it's so different. My mom was an actor, in a different generation now. My Nana, who continues to act now, acts as a senior actor, so his problems won't be the same as the problems that I might face. Also, not to forget that there's a very big difference in the way men and women are also treated.
You still think it is apparent? I mean, though people say they're changing.
No. It's very, very, very much apparent. I'm not saying on every set. There are some wonderful sets that I've been on. A lot of really wonderful sets that I've been on, but there are some not very wonderful sets also. And yeah, it is.
Not for female equality, gender equality.
No, there's still a long way that needs to go, and there's many, many instances, many moments, and many experiences that I've had, and other female actors that I've worked with have also had, that make it very, very apparent that we still have a very long way to go.
Which is the one change as a female and an actor working in an industry that is essentially patriarchal that you want to see changed right now?
I I just want the same respect given. I'm not talking about you can figure out 100 reasons for why someone should be paid more, someone should be paid less, why someone should get, a bigger vanity van and why someone's getting a smaller vanity van, why someone's being put up at this hotel, why someone's being put up at that hotel, why someone has complete say over how a film turns out versus one has absolutely no say. All these things I can still understand. Chalo, theek hai, whatever. Not understand, but that's baat ki baat. I'm still I'm still young, I'm still new. There are 100 reasons that might not have to do because it's man and woman, but might have to be because it's senior, junior. Totally fine. I'll let that go. But for me, it's when basic respect isn't given. Basic respect. I'm not talking about, revere me and give me respect. Not at all. Just basic respect. The way you talk to someone, small things like when you're calling someone to set at super early for no reason, when you know for a fact that your other actor is not going to come for another 4 hours, it's very easy to call and say, hey, you can actually leave in a bit, or call time push to this, just small things. Or in not thinking about, oh yeah, this actor also hasn't eaten any food, go quickly take your lunch break now, we have a little bit of time before your shot happens. Just basic, small things that show such a deep lack of respect or regard for another person, that I don't like, because that for me is really disappointing, because I give it my all and I treat everyone with a lot of love and respect. So
I
yeah.
totally get that. I've seen that. There are men who are younger than me are called sir, but I'll be called by my first name.
Yeah.
It's these basic things. But
Yeah.
anyways, fingers crossed, we live in hope. And before we wrap up, you're known for your fitness. So everyone wants to know the secret. I mean, what is it that you think people should do to be fit, especially it's summer?
um First is get to know your body, understand your body, and figure out what works for you, because what works for my body will not work for someone else's body, and what works for their body might not work for me. One thing that is universal and works for everyone is hydrate. I literally, like, I'm sitting here with a big jug filled with, now this water is cucumber, lemon, mint, and collagen powder. So I don't get bored of constantly hydrating myself, but I have about at least 3 jugs of these all day. It's 1.2 liters, so that's already,
Wow.
yeah, 3.6 liters that I'm easily consuming in a day. So just have a lot of water. It does wonders for your gut, your weight, your skin, your hair, your mental health also. If I'm ever in a bad mood, it's probably because I'm dehydrated. My hydration has a big effect on my mood. So just hydrate. It's the easiest, simplest trick I can ever give anyone, and everyone talks about it, but no one realizes just how important it is.
Lovely chatting with you. All the very best. So here we are manifesting. I think we might just see you as a small town girl, a rural girl. Let's manifest that.
Yes. Fingers crossed.
All the very best. Keep shining.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.